Hey friends, welcome back to Black Queer Unapologetic, the space where we keep it real, raw, and honest about everything that shapes us. I'm JoJo, and today's topic, it's personal, it's uncomfortable, but it's also very necessary. And we're talking about body image, beauty standards, and our community. I want you to take a second and be real with yourself. How do you feel about your body? Not the version of your body that you want to have, not the one that you're working towards, but the body that you have right now in this moment. For so many of us, that answer might not be an easy one. We've been conditioned to pick ourselves apart and to measure our worth based on size, shape, muscles, skin tone, and how much attention we get in queer spaces. And the LGBTQ plus community, sometimes those expectations can feel even worse than the straight world. So today we're digging deep and we're going to talk about how body image struggles in queer spaces are shaped by race, gender, and desirability politics, the dangerous pursuits of the ideal gay body, what it looks like, why it excludes so many of us, and the pressures that come with it, the rise of Ozempic, Wegovy, and steroids and testosterone being used purely for cosmetic reasons, the role of social media, dating apps, and media representation in shaping our self-worth, why certain queer spaces like bear culture feel more accepting than mainstream LGBTQ plus scenes, and how we can heal and start shifting the way we see ourselves. I'm also going to share a personal story because, trust me, I've been through it. The self-hate, the extremes, the need for validation. This episode is not about judgment. It's about getting honest, unpacking the harm, and figuring out how we can show up for ourselves better. If you've ever struggled with body image, if you've ever felt invisible or undesirable, if you've ever looked at yourself and thought, I'm not enough, I don't look like this, or I don't look like that, this episode is going to be for you. So let's get into it.
Hey, black, queer, unapologetic. Black, queer, unapologetic. I know who I am, now you know what I'm about. I say the thoughts in my head out loud. Let's get into it, let's pick up the flow though. Brought to you by the one they call JoJo. Black, queer, unapologetic. Black, queer, unapologetic. Let's go.
Okay. So let's start with the unspoken rules of desirability in the queer community. And, whether we want to admit it or not, there is a hierarchy of who gets attention. And at the top, you already know, in mainstream LGBTQ culture and spaces, it tends to be lean, muscular bodies with six packs, toned arms, gym-built frames, lighter skinned individuals or racially ambiguous individuals or racially ambiguous features. And even in queer spaces, colorism is real. And I feel like, people talk about racism all the time, but we don't necessarily talk about colorism. On top of that, hypermasculinity. If you're femme or androgynous looking, it tends to kind of be shit out of luck. And then there's the whole grooming thing. As far as being perfectly groomed, having a certain amount of body hair, not too much body hair, don't be too hairy. You have to have this natural look without trying too hard or being too flamboyant. And this is what's constantly held up as the ideal on social media, on LGBTQ plus magazines, in club culture, and even in porn. And if you don't fit that mold, it then seems to default to one of two extremes. You're either ignored or you are fetishized. That is a problem for me. What I've seen within my own journey, my body's gone through ups and downs in weight, the way that my skin works. At certain times of the year, I tend to be a lot darker than other times of the year. And I've been fetishized for certain things with my skin. I've also been discriminated against because of my hair. I've been told like my hair texture is not attractive, my weight, you lose some weight, gain some weight. I like your dad bod. Why did you gain weight? Why did you lose weight? As if it's anybody's business. And if you're seen as quote unquote fat, you get coded as the funny friend or big sexy stereotype of the dad bod. And it's just rarely that it's just seen as attractive. If you're femme, which by the way is really just a spectrum of femininity and masculinity and personality and dress, you're often told, you're too gay, you're too queer, or not real competition for mass guys. And I'm even going to take that a step further, because it's not just femme individuals that are being discriminated against in that way because of how they look or present themselves. Masculine guys are often told that they're not gay enough. There was this guy that I dated years ago, and I used to be an athlete, and his friends were super femme. They were like all like drag queens and like would answer at the clubs and stuff. They tended to judge me and basically talked him into not dating me because I did not dress or present a certain way because I wasn't gay enough. And to me, that was weird. Anyway, I digress. Back to what I was talking about. As far as skin color, my skin does change color based on the time of the year. If it's sunnier outside, I tend to be a bit darker. In the wintertime, I am pale as hell. And if you're dark skinned, you get I'm just not into black guys thrown at you. It's a preference and not racism, and racial preferences are racist by definition. So that's a different episode, different conversation. But the message is clear. Only a small percentage of us get to be seen as valued and desired based on who we are and not because of a stereotypical image that is given to attractiveness or a fetish. And the rest, we're just left to either conform or cope. So I want you to sit with this for a minute. When did you first feel like your body wasn't good enough? And that could be like your physical body, your skin, your hair, your body size. Was it something that someone said to you? Was it the way that you were treated? When was the first time you felt invisible in a queer space? We carry these moments with us and we internalize them, and before you know it, they shape the way we move through the world. So all these different things that can make us feel like we're not good enough based on mainstream beauty standards and based on body image. Unfortunately, this is the reality that we live in, where people do and say things that make us not feel good about ourselves. But we have to be able to find that within ourselves. And if you're not really sure how to find that, listen to the episode of Learning to Fall in Love with Yourself. But one thing I do want to talk about is the people that fall into this trap of the mainstream beauty standards and the mainstream body image, where you can't just be who you are, you have to look a certain way. When people feel like they don't measure up, they start looking for quick fixes. How do I lose weight? How do I gain weight? I want to be thick. I want to be smaller. I want lighter skin. I want my hair to look a certain way. I diet, get a perm, whatever it is. And I'm not saying that any of these things are necessarily wrong. I'm just thinking of the reasons why people do them. So some of these quick fixes, I want to talk about Ozempic, Wegovy, and other GLP-1 weight loss drugs. The medications that were designed for diabetics, but right now, a lot of people are using them for a new crash diet. People are paying thousands of dollars to drop weight overnight. Some people are taking it without medical supervision. And I'm not a doctor, but I don't feel like anybody should be doing that. And then there's people who are buying these GLP-1 weight loss drugs illegally because they don't have a prescription. They haven't talked to a doctor or anything like that. And so they're just taking them at their own risk. And listen, I get it. The pressure to be thinner and leaner and smaller is real. I get it. But there's side effects to taking these medications, and people are literally risking their health to fit in the beauty standards that were not designed for most of us in the first place. And like, okay, well, JoJo, some people want to lose weight. Yeah, no, I get it. But then on the flip side, you have people who don't want to lose weight. They want to gain weight. They want more muscle. And so you have steroids and testosterone supplement abuse. There's this growing trend of cis gay men taking testosterone just to bulk up. Not for medical reasons, not for transitions, but to get a look. People are out here manipulating their hormones, putting bodies through hell, all for external validation. And the crazy thing is that, but you also had help. So I think that there's like a lack of transparency and honesty there. And not to say that you need to tell everybody your business, but it creates that image that is constantly being perpetuated about attractiveness. And so somebody gets a body in a unnatural way through weight loss drugs. Other people are thinking, well, I can't lose weight like that. This is not working for me. And then it pushes people into wanting to do the same thing. And so I say all this to say, at what point do we ask ourselves, who are we really doing this for? Is it for you? Or is it so you can get attention from other people? I know sometimes there are health concerns, and I understand that. You know, maybe you have low testosterone, so you're taking testosterone supplements. Maybe, you know, you had an injury, so you're taking steroids. Maybe you have diabetes or some other condition, and so you need to take Wegovy or Ozempic. All of that is fine. But I think when we put ourselves at risk by taking supplements that we don't have prescriptions for, or that we've bought in another country because we want to look a certain way, purely for cosmetic reasons. And then the people who have been taking these drugs, the Ozempics, the Wegovy's, the testosterone, the steroids, are considered, after they've obtained a certain level of body, to be fit. Oh, I'm into fit guys. But there are health concerns that come with taking those types of things. Just because somebody looks a certain way doesn't make them any more fit than anybody else. Optics aren't everything. At the end of the day, I feel like we need to get to a point of body neutrality versus body positivity or body negativity. We need to feel good about ourselves as we are. Your hair is unique. You should love your hair. Your skin is unique. You should love your skin. Your body shape and size is unique. Everybody's built differently. You should love your body. Some people wish they had thicker legs. Some people wish they had smaller legs. Love yourself the way that you are. And I feel like if people commented on people's appearance less, there would be less of this desire to want to change and adapt and fit into these boxes to be seen a certain way by other people. Not to make ourselves feel good, but to be seen by other people as attractive and better than and desirable. With that said, I do want to switch things up a little bit and tell a story. Because one thing that I've noticed is that when I go to bear events, and for those who don't know, bear culture is part of the LGBTQ community, but it is a subculture of people who have maybe more body hair or like larger bodied people. And about a month ago, I went to a bear event in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. It was called Beef Dip. And I noticed that there is this body neutrality. People just seem more comfortable in their own skin when I go to these events. And I don't know if it's because they see regular bodied, people who look like them. People of all sizes go. It's not just, larger body people. So you see people that are smaller, people that are larger, people that may be significantly larger or smaller than you. Just depends. And when I go to more mainstream LGBTQ plus events like Prides or a circuit party or some main Pride event that's happening for some weekend or something like that, it tends to be cliquey and judgmental and looks based. When I went to this particular event, I expected it to be like any other gay event I've gone to, because it's a pretty big event. It happens every single year. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to expect it to be just like any other gay event. Could be cliquey, judgmental, looks based. If you're darker skin, thicker hair, thicker body, maybe if you're too big, people are not going to see you as attractive. And I was dead wrong. I noticed that when I saw bigger bodied folks, they seemed very comfortable in their own skin. And I'm talking all sizes, from, a large to an extra large to a double XL to a triple XL. Loving themselves, friend groups of all colors and sizes, dancing, laughing, flirting, intermixing of people of different body types, intermixing of people of different ethnicities and skin colors, without this underlying tension of who looks the best or who has the hottest group of friends or who has the hottest outfit. And I had to ask myself, why aren't more queer spaces like this? It seemed very healthy. There wasn't this toxic body positivity where it's like, oh, well, this is a bear event and it's for larger body people. And so we're only going to include larger body people. Smaller body people were very included in the group. There were people who were significantly smaller in size, not just like in body size, but like height, that were also included, which I found very interesting, because there's also, people like, oh, I want a guy that's 6 foot. I think that that's hot. But then you see a guy that's 5'2" and people aren't interested. Why aren't more queer spaces like this? And why do we tolerate body shaming as a norm? And whether you say it out loud or not, if the thought is in your head, somebody is not attractive because of their body, that is body shaming. So why do we tolerate that as a norm? And what would it look like if acceptance was the standard instead of aesthetics? How would we feel about ourselves, and how would we move through the community if every queer space we went into, we didn't have to worry about people excluding us because of our skin color and our hair texture and our body type and our height and our whatever else? I don't know. I just found it interesting. But a sad reality is that we've been conditioned to believe we have to look a certain way to be worthy, whether that's by the media or by the community itself. But we don't. We do not have to look a certain way to be worthy. I don't need to lose 50 pounds to be cute. I don't need to go buy a box perm from fucking CVS for my hair to be considered attractive. I don't need to stay out of the sun and make sure my skin doesn't get too dark to be considered attractive. We don't have to do that. Your body does not define your worth. Your desirability does not determine your value. And you do not need to shrink your body or bulk up or modify yourself just to feel like you belong or feel like you are a part of a community. We have to unlearn this toxic behavior. We have to redefine what community looks like. Because when people talk about LGBTQ community, and then you want to exclude people that are a part of that community based on physical features, based on skin color and body type and body size and hair texture and nationality and ethnicity, and the list goes on. That is not community. That is not what community looks like. So, you can say I'm sitting here preaching about all this stuff, but at the end of the day, when you say LGBTQ plus community, that is not what community looks like. Excluding people because of their physical appearance, making people feel lesser than because of their physical appearance, making people feel like something is wrong with them because of their physical appearance, because they don't fit into a box that was created for them that they do not fit into and therefore cannot conform to. I don't know if anybody's heard the TLC song Unpretty, but the lyrics basically go, you can buy your hair if it won't grow. You can fix your nose if he says so. You can buy all the makeup that Matt can make, but if you can't look inside you and find out who am I to be in a position that made me feel so damn unpretty, yeah, I'll make you feel unpretty too. So we need to stop this. And that's it for today's episode. I really want people to understand that this is not about judgment. This is really about people making changes because they want to make the changes and they're doing it for themselves, not because they feel pressure from external forces in order to make those changes. So if you really want to lose weight, if you really want to change your hair texture, if you really want to go and do those things, then that's totally fine if you're doing it for yourself. But I do think that there is something wrong with doing it because you feel pressure from the community to do it and to make yourself look more attractive to external things. So if you want to feel good about yourself, go ahead and more power to you. But if you're doing it for somebody else, that's just a slippery slope. The next thing and the next thing and the next thing. It's like, okay, you lose weight. Okay, now you need more muscle. Okay, you need to fix your hair. Okay, you need to fix your nose. Okay, you need to do this, do that. So make sure that you are making sure that you feel good about yourself for yourself. If this conversation resonated with you, let's keep it going. Hit me up on social media, share this episode, and let's continue to build a community where all bodies are considered good bodies. Until next time, stay Black, stay queer, and as always, stay unapologetic, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.